Hello, my name is Noah, and today I'll be teaching you the basics of your guitar, understanding all of the parts that make it sound like a professional instrument. We will cover the tuning knobs, the nuts, the frets, as well as any truss rod adjustments needed to help the action on your guitar. And we'll do it for the acoustic guitar as well as the electric guitar. So let's break down the basics of my acoustic guitar. Now my guitar is a Taylor 710 CE, and it's important for you to understand the type of wood your acoustic guitar is made of, because that affects the resonance, the tone, and the character of your guitar. All three very important things. So as you look at mine, the top of it is kind of a light yellowish off-white color. This is called spruce, and the back and sides is called East Indian rosewood. The next part I want to talk about is the tuning knobs. Now the tuning knobs are located up here on the head of the guitar, and you tune these left or right depending on your desired pitch. So you turn it right to lower the pitch and left to raise the pitch. And we'll get into tuning your guitar with a tuner and eventually tuning the guitar just with your ear. Next is the nuts on your guitar. So the nuts are located right beneath the tuning pegs, and what they do is your string gets fed through a little hole in the nut and wound with the pegs so that it becomes tight and the tension creates a note. Now the next part is the frets, arguably one of the most important parts, because that's where you put your fingers to play those chords, to play those riffs. So just a quick general practice, you see these sort of silver bridges in a repeating pattern. Your fingers want to go right in the middle of them. You don't want to go on top of the silver bridge. You're going to get a buzz and it's not going to be as clear of a note. So hear that compared to, it's kind of dull. So that's important when you're playing. You want your fingers to be right in the middle of those frets, not on top of the silver bridges. Now the next thing I want to talk to you about is neck adjustments. Now neck adjustments can be on the more advanced side, so I recommend for the first time you take it into your local expert, watch them do it, and then after that, if you need an adjustment, you can do it yourself. So we have a thing on our guitar called action, and the action is the distance between the fret and the string. And it's important to understand that because a higher action is much harder to play chords and play riffs on. So we want a lower action. And especially when you're first starting out, it's really, really hard to have a high action because you're just building the strength in your fingers. So once again, if you need a neck adjustment, take it into a professional for the first time and have them take a look at it. There are so many different types of guitars out there, it's really hard to know all the differences and similarities, and most importantly, what's right for you. So my guitar is an acoustic electric guitar, and what makes it both is that first, it has its acoustic properties, so as I play for you, you can hear it full, warm, and quite well. And secondly, what makes it electric is I have a 1/4 inch option at the side of my guitar that I can take a chord, run that to an amplifier or PA system, and be heard in a live setting or where you want to amplify your sound. So like I said, it's great for gigging, great for playing out and people hearing you at a louder volume. Otherwise, you would just have to put a couple mics in front of your guitar and it really becomes more of a hassle. Next, I want to tackle the maintenance of your guitar. What I do is after every performance, or if I'm just sitting at home strumming by myself, I take a microfiber cloth and wipe down the top, back, and sides of my guitar, as well as the individual frets and the strings themselves so I don't have to change them as often. And I also do the tuning pegs. Now going on to string life and how often should you change your guitar strings. I would say shoot for roughly 2 to 3 weeks, but it all depends on how often you play them, whether you play 10 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, and how much you like the new string tone, the warmness, the fullness, because I really like that, so I change my guitar strings roughly 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks, but it all is up to you and what your preference is. Next, I want to talk about conditioning the fretboard. What you can do is you can do a Google search for a neck conditioner for your guitar, for the fretboard, and you want to make sure it's for the right type of wood, whether it's maple or rosewood or another type of wood. You want to make sure you have the right conditioner for that. And you want to apply that lightly to the individual frets, and that will really condition the wood and preserve it. So you'll have the guitar around for longer, and ideally you'll avoid the neck cracking down the road, whether it's 5, 10 years.
Here is my electric guitar, the Fender Telecaster. Now, a lot of the parts on the electric guitar are similar to those on the acoustic, so I won't be going over them. I will, however, be showing you all of the differences. Here, you see two knobs. The knob on your right controls the volume, and the knob on your left controls the tone of the guitar. Next, you see these holes in the back of the guitar. This is where you feed the string through when you are changing the strings. Here are the pickups on the guitar. Now, the pickups are very important because they allow the signal to be transferred and become electrified in an amplifier. There are different kinds, such as single coil or humbucker. I happen to have 2 humbucker pickups. Next is the position switch. This controls what pickup you use. So for example, you could be using just the left one, just the right one, or even both at the same time.